What do you do when she looks at you? Become unglued and crimson-hued, turn away, afraid to stare, bury your face in your biology book, or return the look? What do you do when she looks at you? Shout her name from atop your chair, flare your nostril, pose and flex, bellow like a buffalo bull in love, yodel like a loincloth-clad Tarzan, or take her hand. What do you do when she looks at you? 100 things I could have done. 100 words lay on my tongue. 100 pickup lines marched by. I just said hi. I would have loved to know that was going on in a boy's head when I was in high school and middle school, because I was terrified when boys would walk by and I liked them. Instead, I was a himmin and I was a han, and I was like, oh my goodness, he's looking at me. Meanwhile, the whole time they were just as afraid as I was. Thanks to this book, More Than Friends, Poems from Him and Her, you get to hear the perspective of the boy, which is written by Alan Wolfe, and you get to hear the perspective of the girl by Sarah Hallbrack. The whole book is done in poems. I know. Don't freak out on me. Don't go bleh. They're actually very good poems, and they're poems that tell you the different side. So I know exactly what the boy is thinking whenever it's time for me to walk by, and I find out that he's all flustered. I get to know all about the girl as she's getting ready to go out on the date. I get to know about it when they get their first kiss. And it goes through the whole type of their relationship. Then, if you're still wondering, okay, this book helped me learn what a boy is thinking, but is it being for real? Well, I have another book for you, and it's called Flipped. Okay? Flipped is a book by Gwendolyn Van Deren, and this is one that takes place, and you have Bryce, and he goes and you see his point of view. All right, there's an example. Bryce is taking eggs from Juliana, and he takes them, he throws them away every day that she brings them. Well, Julie catches him, and she is very upset by it, and she thinks he's been rude the whole time. Okay, flip to Bryce. Bryce has been throwing those eggs away because his dad's been telling him to. His dad's been the one that's saying that those eggs are dirty coming from Julie Baker's house. Well, he's been doing it to save Julie's feelings. This happens to me in my house all the time, where there's a certain situation going on, and my husband thinks of it in a totally different way as I do. I would love having a book like this, so that way I know what's going on in my husband's head, and then he can know what's going on in my head. It would save so much. This book right here has won numerous state awards, so it's not just me who's telling you that it's a good book. In case you weren't done yet, he said, she said. This is a new book just written by Kwame Alexander. This is a great book as well. You have T. Diddy. I know, right? T. Diddy, for real. He is a big, huge football star. He gets all the ladies. Well, now he's come upon Claudia, who is, well, she is a snob who is all about college bound. She does not have time for T. Diddy. Well, you get to hear both of their sides of the story. But the cool thing about it is you get to hear their sides through Facebook, tweets, text, emails, and then, of course, just through regular prose that we're all used to. And we learn more about them. We learn that T. Diddy, he's not all about just being a football star and getting girls. And you know, Claudia, we find out that she's really not a snob. It's just she's just not all into the drama in high school. We learn that there's more to her. We learn that there's more to him, which is the exact same thing you learn about in all three of these books. That it's not just all about you. It's not just one person's point of view. There's always somebody else's. What makes these books special is the other person's perspective is that of the opposite gender. So that you learn more about them, you learn more about yourselves, and it's something that you can take with you. Now, don't just take my word for it. I had my nephew, Johnny, read this book. He's 20 years old. He loved it. He was like blown away. He's like, I never knew that's what a girl thought about when she went shopping, and all that went into her thinking. And I was like, is a boy really like that? Does a boy really fuss all of that whenever it comes to dressing? And he was like, yes, we do. But I've never thought about that. I had my 6th grader, Olivia, read this book. It was the first book she has ever read and finished. That's how much she loved it. And I had another student read this book for me. Her name is Lily, and she finished it in a day. Look how thick this book is. A day. She said she could not put it down because it was so engrossing. So it's not just me. I have a boy with poems. I have a girl who's never read a book. And then I have one that was so great that she read it all in one day. These books do a great job of not only showing us the theme of it's more than what meets the eye, but also gives us a different way to look at people. I highly suggest you go out and you read all 3 of these books. Thank you.